Okay, so I hope that exercise number 18A must be absolutely clear to you. Please be sure that you are able to solve all the problems of exercise number 18A before you start solving the questions of exercise number 18B. So in today's video, we shall start exercise number 18B and solve all the problems. Okay. So before we start solving the problems, let us quickly summarize the theorems that you will be requiring in order to solve the questions of exercise number 18B. I am not going to the proofs of the theorem. You can easily follow the proofs given in the theorem. Easily follow the proofs given in your textbook. Okay. But a brief summary I will give. So for example, here you can see you are having two chords AB and CD. They are intersecting each other internally inside the circle at the point P. And here you are having two chords AB and CD which are intersecting externally. So the theorem says that whether the chords are intersecting each other internally or externally, but AP into PB, P is the point of intersection of the chords, will be equal to CP into PD. Similarly here, what you will say? We will say that AP into BP, P is the point of intersection. Okay, so if you want to write, it will be like this: AP into BP, this will be equal to CP into PD, where P is the point of intersection of the two chords internally or externally. Okay, then another theorem that you will be requiring, like this. Let us imagine a tangent to this circle. Okay, so let us take this point as P. Okay, now we are having a chord here. So let us say it is PC. Why not? So you can see this angle. This is the angle between the chord and the tangent. So this angle will be equal to angle in the alternate segment. So you are having angle here. So not in this segment. You must be knowing what is the segment of a circle. If you are having a chord CP, then you can see that there are two segments, minor segment and the major segment. So you are taking this angle. So in the alternate segment, any angle, it can be like this. Let's call this point A. Okay. If this point is D, then we will say that angle DPC, it will be equal to angle PAC. Now if you are having any other angle by the same this arc, same chord CP, let us say like this. Let us call this point B. Then also we will say that angle DPC, let me write here, angle DPC, it will be equal to angle PBC, this angle. So like this way also you can conclude that angle PAC will be equal to angle PBC, isn't it? PAC will be equal to angle PBC. These two angles will be equal because they are subtended by the same arc CP. So angles subtended by the same arc CP must be equal. So other way if you want to say, then you can say that the angle between the tangent and the chord, it will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So if in the alternate segment two angles are subtended, then all three will be equal. Okay. If you extend this chord like this, if you extend this chord like this, then what will happen? If you extend the chord like this, then you can see one line like this, another line like this. This angle will be equal to its vertically opposite angle. Vertically opposite angle will be this. So if this point, if these 2 points are, let us say this is X and this point is Y, then angle XPY will be equal to its vertically opposite angle. Vertically opposite angle is DPC, and in turn DPC is equal to angle PBC or angle PAC. So you can also say that angle XPY will be equal to its vertically opposite angle. Vertically opposite angle is DPC, angle DPC, and then angle DPC will be equal to angle PAC and angle PAC and also angle PBC, angle PBC. Okay, so in fact not only this angle is equal to this angle or this angle is equal to this angle, but vertically opposite angles are also equal. So this angle is equal to this angle is equal to this angle is equal to this angle. It means that 1 2 3 4, in this case all of these 4 angles will be equal. This is your tangent. Let us take this point. This is point P. Okay, so I have drawn a tangent to a circle, and this is our chord. So this is point A, this is point B. Let us call this point C. So what you can see that AB is a chord. Okay, AB is a chord. Now, in case you are not clear with the basic definitions, then you should first watch our previous videos where I have explained you that what is the chord, what is the diameter, what is the largest chord. All of these basic definitions I have covered already. Okay, so please do watch that video. I will give you the link in the I button. First watch. You should be clear with the basic definitions. Then only you can understand these theorems, and then only you can solve the problems. So here I have written that AB is a chord, and you can see that CP is a tangent. Okay, and then next point is that both of them are intersecting externally at a point C. So important point is that tangent and the chord, they are intersecting externally. In fact, if you are having a tangent and you are having a chord, then it is obvious that tangent and chord, if you want them to intersect at a point, then that point must always be external to the circle. Inside a circle, how can a tangent and a chord intersect? Inside a circle, two chords can intersect, but a tangent and chord will always intersect each other externally. Then what the theorem says? Theorem says that CP square, it will be equal to CA into CB, where C is the point of intersection. The proof is straightforward. As I have said, you can join these 2 points like this. You can also join this point. Okay, now you can consider 2 triangles, triangle CAP, and you can consider the triangle CPB. So as we have discussed that this angle CPA, it is the angle between the tangent and a chord, so it will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So these 2 angles will be equal. Okay, and you can see that in these 2 triangles, triangle CAP and CPB, this angle is common angle, so it will also be equal. So that means you want to say that these 2 triangles will be similar by AA similarity rule. If they are similar, then you can say that CP upon CB will be equal to CA upon CP. Cross multiplying, you can conclude that this only you will get CP into CP, you will get CP square will be equal to CA into CB, CA into CB, the same result. Okay, because it is straightforward, that is why I am not proving the theorems, but you should be clear with the basic definitions. That is important. And second is that the theorems. Now when I say theorems, I also mean the theorem that we have discussed previously while solving the questions of the exercise 18A, and also the theorems of the previous chapter, that is the circles. So now once these theorems are clear, once the basic definitions are clear, then you can start solving the questions of exercise number 18B. Okay, so now let us start. So this is question number 1. There are 3 subparts. Very simple problem, you can easily solve it. For question number 2 and 3, I have changed the orientation. Okay, so in your textbook, the 2 chords intersecting in this, the P point is somewhere here, but I have changed the orientation like this so that I can accommodate the 3 figures on a single board here. Okay, otherwise the question is same, the figure, only the orientation has been changed. So what has been given? For the first problem, here, sorry, this is not C, it is 3. 3 times of PC is equal to PD is equal to 9. That means this PD, this is equal to 9, and CP will be 9 by 3. So CP will be 3. Then you are having AP 4.5. So this is AP 4.5. And we have to find the BP. So just now we have discussed the theorem. We are having two chords intersecting each other internally at the point P. So you can easily say that 3 into 9, that is CP into PD. 3 into 9 you will get 27. This will be equal to AP into PB. AP is 4.5. So it will be equal to 4.5 into BP. That means we want to say that BP will be equal to 27 divided by 4.5. Okay, you can solve for yourself. So BP will come out to be 6 centimeter. So this will be 6. Now next in this figure, 5 times AP is equal to 3 times AB is equal to 30. It means AP is 6. So this AP, this is 6. Okay. And AB will be your 10. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Then PC is 4. PC is 4. You have to find CD, this length. So you can see that the two chords are intersecting each other externally. So we can say that AP into AB. AP is 6. So it will be 6 into AP into, sorry, PB. PB will be 10 plus 6. 10 plus 6 is 16, like this. This will be equal to PC. PC is 4 into PD. So you can say that PD will be equal to 6 into 16 by 4. So you will get here PD equal to 24. Now if PD is 24, you know that PC is 4. So CD will be 24 minus 4. 24 minus 4 you will get here 20. CD will be equal to 20. Okay. And in this problem you can see that you are having a tangent PT and you are having a chord AB, and tangent and chord are intersecting each other externally at a point P. So as we have discussed just now, the theorem PT square will be equal to PA into PB. Now PA is given 10. PT is given 12.5. So we have to find this AB. Okay. So from here PT is 12.5. So it will be 12.5 into 12.5. It will be equal to this is PA, sorry, not this is PA into PB. So PA is 10. This is not 16, it is 10. This will be equal to 10 times of PB. That means you want to say that PB will be equal to 12.5 into 12.5 divided by 10. So we have to find AB. What will be AB? AB will be equal to 12.5 into 12.5 divided by 10 minus PA. PA is 10. So if you solve it, it will be 15625, and then two decimals you are having like this. Minus 100 divided by 10. So you will be getting here 56.25 divided by 10. So we will get 5.625. So this will be your AB. AB will be, if you solve this length, it will come out to be, here I have written 5.625 centimeter, whatever units they have given. Okay, so like this you can solve question number 1. Okay, so this is the figure for question number 2. It has been given that AB is the diameter, and then certain measurements are given. For example, PB is 4, then PD is given 5, CD is given 7.8. What we have to do is we have to find the length of the diameter and we have to find the length of the tangent PT. Okay, so you can see here that there are two chords AB and CD which are intersecting each other externally at a point P. So you can use the theorem directly. So we'll get here PD is 5 into PC. So 5 plus 7.8, you will get 12.8. This will be equal to 4 into AB plus 4. That is, you want PA into PB. PB is given 4. So PA will be diameter plus 4. So let me write here AB plus 4. Next you have to solve it. So you will get here okay. So AB you will get 12. So this finishes the first part. AB, length of AB, it will be 12 centimeter. So next you can use the theorem that square of the tangent PT square will be equal to PB into PA. Okay, so this is a direct theorem, application of the theorem that we have studied just now. PT square will be equal to PA. PA will be 12 plus 4, 16 into PB. PB is 4. So this means PT will be equal to plus minus, you will get here 16 into 4. So this 2 will come out, this 4 will come out. So we will get here plus minus 8. But length cannot be minus, so we will not consider the minus sign here. That means PT will be equal to 8 centimeter. Like this you can do. Okay. So this is the figure given for question number 3. So you should be able to recall one theorem from the previous chapter, that if DB is the diameter, it has been given that DB is the diameter and O is the center. So the theorem is that the angle in the semicircle is 90 degree. So angle subtended by this chord, the largest chord is the diameter DB. So if DB is the diameter, then this angle will be 90 degree. Then you can see the triangle DBC, use the angle sum property, 90 and 60, you will get 150. So 180 minus 150, so this angle will be 30 degree. So this angle will be 30 degree. Now you know that PQ is the tangent and AB is the chord. Okay. So if AB is the chord, the angle between the tangent and the chord will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So AB, this arc, this chord, it is subtending an angle here 30 degree. Angle ADB, it has been given 30. So if this is 30, it means that this angle will also be 30. So here this angle will be 30 degree. Okay. So now DB is the diameter. Angle in the semicircle is right angle. So this angle will be 90. Now you know that PQ is the tangent. So whole will be 180. So 90 plus 30, 120. That means the remaining part, this much, will be 60 degree. So the answer will be for angle BDC. Angle BDC, we have determined 30 degree. Then for angle QAB, you will get 30 degree. And angle PAD will be 60 degree. So question number 4 is again a simple application of the theorem that we have studied previously. So O is the center, you can see that ST is the diameter. Okay. Angle QRT has been given 30 degree. And we have to find these two angles indicated by a question mark, that is angle ROT and angle PRS. So RT is the chord. If this angle between the tangent and the chord is 30 degree, so it will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So this is 30, it means that this RT is subtending an angle at S. So this angle will also be 30 degree. Now you must recall the theorem of the previous chapter, that angle subtended at the center is 2 times the angle subtended at the remaining part. So if angle RST is 30, the same arc and chord RT, the subtending angle ROT at the center. So clearly this angle must be 60 degree. 2 times of 30 degree, that is 60 degree. Okay. So now we can see that this angle is 60. If SOT is the diameter, then the angle in the semicircle is 90 degree. So angle SRT, this angle will be 90 degree. PQ is the tangent. So angle PRQ will be 180 degree. This much is 30. 30 plus 90. So we'll get here 120. So remaining part, this will be 60. Isn't it? 180 minus the sum of these two angles. So it will be 180 degrees. 180 degree minus 90 plus 30, you will get here 60 degree. Okay, like this you can solve. So for question number 5, they have not given the figure, so this figure you have to draw from your own side. And then they are saying that AB is the diameter. Okay, so this AB is the diameter, AC is the chord. So this point is C. This point will be C. So AC is a chord. Angle BAC is given 30 degree. This is 30 degree. Angle BAC. Okay. And then AB is the diameter. If you extend the diameter, and then CD is a tangent. So this is a point of intersection. O is the center. So if AB is the diameter, then angle in a semicircle will be 90 degree. So if you join these points B and C, so we will get that this angle will be 90 degree. Okay. You have to join B and C because you have to prove that BC is equal to BD. So if you join BC, you will see that this angle will be 90 degree. Okay. Now you see the angle between the tangent and the chord, this angle. It will be equal to angle subtended by this CB in the alternate segment. So you can see that CB is subtending angle of 30 degree in the alternate segment. So this angle will also be 30 degree. That is angle BCD will be 30 degree. Now that is the triangle ACD. You can look at the triangle ACD. By the angle sum property, sum of the interior angles will be 180 degree. So you are having this angle 30. This angle will be 90 plus 30. 90 plus 30 is 120. So 120 plus 30, you will get 150. So what will be the remaining angle? Remaining angle will be 30 degree, isn't it? That is angle CDB. It will be equal to 180 degree minus 30 plus 90 plus 30. 30 plus 90 plus 30. So this will be 120 plus 30, 150. 30 degree. So now if you look at the triangle CBD. In triangle CBD, you notice that angle BCD is equal to angle BDC. Measure of both the angles is 30 degree. So if both the angles are 30 degree, clearly shows that triangle CBD is an isosceles triangle. It is an isosceles triangle. If it is isosceles triangle, you can say that BC will be equal to BD. Okay, like this way you can prove. So for question number 6, again they have not given the figure. If you draw the figure from your own side, we have a triangle PQR and it has been given you are having a circumcircle. So you are having a circumcircle. Circumcircle means your circle which is surrounding the triangle and touching all the vertices, 3 vertices. Okay. Tangent at P has been given, indicated that it is parallel to this chord QR. Okay. So what we have to do is that we have to prove that this triangle PQR is an isosceles triangle. So again this is a simple problem. You can see the tangent at point P. You are having a chord PQ. So this angle, it will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So PQ is this arc and this chord you see. So alternate it will be like this. These 2 angles will be equal. Okay. And similarly you can see that this angle here, it will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment here. These 2 angles will be equal. Then what you can say that this angle will also be equal to this angle because they are alternate interior angles. You can imagine PQ as the transversal. I am extending QR like this. This angle will be equal to alternate interior angle, this angle, and also it will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So this angle will be equal to this angle. What you can say? You can say that these 2 angles will also be equal. Similarly, you can say that this angle will be equal to its alternate interior angle. It will be equal to this angle, and also this angle will be equal to this angle. Hence, these 2 angles are equal. If these 2 angles are equal, you can say that triangle PQR will be an isosceles. These 2 sides will also be equal. So question number 7 is straightforward. They are given the figure. Okay. You can see that there are 2 circles. One smaller and one larger circle. They are intersecting at the points A and B. O and O dash are respectively the centers. Okay. We are having the tangent here CAD. We have to prove that angle OAC is equal to angle OAB. That is, we have to prove that OA is bisecting the angle BAC. So how can OA be bisecting the angle BAC if and only if these angles, angle OAC and this angle OAB, they are equal. Okay, so it is a very easy problem. You can see that for the larger circle, okay, first look at the larger circle, then OA is the chord. Okay, so if OA is the chord and C is the tangent, then this angle will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So for the larger circle I am saying that if OA is the chord, then it is subtending an angle OBA, this angle. For the larger circle, you imagine if OA is the chord, then for the larger circle this OBA. So we can say that angle CAO, for the larger circle imagine, then CAO will be equal to the angle ABO, isn't it? Now come to the smaller circle. For the smaller circle you can see that O is the center of the smaller circle, then OB is equal to OA because they are the radii of the same circle. It is a smaller circle. OB is one radius starting from the center to this point. This is radius of the smaller circle. Similarly OA. So OB will be equal to OA. If OB is equal to OA, it means that triangle OAB will be an isosceles triangle. Triangle OAB will be isosceles. If it is isosceles, it means that the angle, ABO, this angle, it will be equal to angle OAB. So these two angles will be equal. So we want to say that this angle is equal to this angle, but this angle is equal to this angle. Hence these two angles are equal to each other. If these two angles are equal to each other, it means that this OA is bisecting the angle BAC. Like this way you can prove. Okay. So for question number 8, you will have to do construction from your own side. Okay. So let us draw a tangent. This tangent you have to construct from your own side. Now this is the point P at which I have drawn a tangent. This is not exactly, you should draw a tangent at point P. So this is a tangent at point P. We are having two circles, smaller circle and bigger circle. CP is the chord and AP is the chord. Okay. AB is the chord you can for the bigger circle which is intersecting the smaller circle at C and D. Now let us call this point E. Why not? So you can see that angle CPE, that is this angle. So CP is the chord of the smaller circle. So you can say that angle CPE, it will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So alternate segment for the smaller circle, we want to say that CPE will be equal to CDP, this angle CDP. Okay. And then if you look for the larger circle, bigger circle, then angle APE, you can see that AP is the chord. So for the bigger circle you can say that angle APE, it will be equal to angle ABP, this angle, because AP is subtending angle at B. So this will be equal to angle ABP. So now what you can do is from CPE, if you subtract APE, that is, this is 1, this is 2. If you subtract second from first, then what you will get? CPE minus APE. So you will get CPA, angle CPA. And here you will get CDP minus ABP. So ABP same as CBP. Okay. So what we can write here is that angle CDP minus angle CBP. Okay. So now if you look at this angle, if you pay attention to this triangle PDB, in triangle PDP. So you will notice that DB is extended here and this PD is one side. So you can say that this angle is a external angle. So this external angle will be equal to the sum of the interior angles. So for triangle PDB, we can say that angle PDA, it will be equal to these two angles, DPB plus DBP plus angle DBP, isn't it? Exterior angle will be equal to the sum of the opposite two interior angles. So now, instead of angle CDP in this equation, CDP is same as your PDA. These two angles are same, isn't it? PDA or PDC is same as CDP. So here, instead of CDP, you can write DPB plus DBP. So if you do it, then it will become, you will get here okay. What is CBP? CBP, this angle, and DBP, they are the one and the same thing. CBP is same as DBP. So these two you can cancel out. If you cancel out, then you will get angle CPA is equal to angle DPB. This we had to prove. Okay, so like this you can do. So problem number 9 is straightforward. They have not given the figure, so figure you have to draw. Now ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral, okay, and diagonal AC is the bisector of angle BCD. So if AC is the bisector, it means that these two angles will be equal. These two means angle ACD will be equal to angle ACB. Now you are having a tangent at point A. You can see the angle between the tangent and the chord. So AD you can imagine as the chord. So this angle will be equal to the angle in the other segment. So this arc AD and chord AD subtending angle, this angle. Okay. So this angle will be equal to the angle in the alternate segment, that is this angle. But AC being the bisector, so these two angles are equal. Okay. That means you want to say that if this is point P, angle PAD, it will be equal to the angle ACB. We have to prove that BD and the tangent at PA, they are parallel to each other. Okay. So I am extending the diagonal BD like this. So let me label this point Q. So now you can also say that if AB is the chord, then this angle QAB, arc and chord AB, they are subtending an angle here ACB. So QAB will be equal to ACB. It will be equal to angle ACB, and ACB is same as this angle ACD, angle ACD. Here also it will be angle ACD because AC is the bisector. Okay. Another angle subtended by the same arc and chord AB, you can see here AB is subtending one angle ACB, and it is also subtending an angle ADB, this angle. So you can say that this will also be equal to angle ADB. You can say that angle ADB, that is this angle, from here ADB is equal to angle ACB, and you know that ACB is equal to angle PAD. In other words, you want to say that these two angles, angle ADB will be equal to angle PAD. If these two angles are equal, you can see that the tangent at the point A, that is this tangent, and the diagonal BD, they must be parallel to each other, because then PD will be the transversal like this, and if these two angles are equal, it means that the alternate interior angles are equal. If alternate interior angles are equal, it means that these two lines are parallel to each other. Like this way you can do. So this is a figure for question number 10. CD is equal to BC. ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. You are sending the side DC to the point G, and TC is the tangent at point C. So we have to find angle BCT. Okay, BCT will be this angle. Okay, and we have to find angle DOC. So we should join D with O and D with C. This angle also we have to find. So we have to find this angle, we have to find this angle. So if angle BCG is 108 degree, you can see that it is a exterior angle. ABCD is cyclic quadrilateral. So using the cyclic property that we have studied in the previous chapter, this angle BCG will be equal to the opposite interior angle. So this angle is the interior angle, and angle opposite to it, this angle. This angle will also be 108 degree, opposite interior angle. So this angle 108 will be equal to opposite interior angle. Interior angle is this and its opposite is this angle. So this will be 108 degree. So now what you can do is you can join the point A with C. So this is a construction you have to do. Why we are doing so? Because it has been given that BC and CD are equal. So you can see that CD is subtending some angle here at the point A, DAC. Let us call this angle X. Why not? As you know that entire angle is 108, so the remaining angle, it will be 108 minus X degrees, isn't it? Minus X degree. So like this, it will be 108 minus X, because this much is X, like this. So this much is X, this much will be 108 minus X, and if you add them, it will be 108, same as the exterior angle. So now CD is subtending angle X degree and BC is subtending an angle, if you look here, 108 minus X degree, and it has been given that CD is equal to BC. That means the angle subtended by them will also be equal, isn't it? 108 minus X will be equal to X. How you can say so? Because the angle subtended by equal chords, they are equal. Angle subtended by equal chords at the center, they are equal. So if the angle subtended at the center is equal, then half of that angle will also be equal. You can say that angle BOC, it will be equal to angle COD, isn't it? Because CD and BC are equal. If they are equal, then if you multiply both sides by half, 1 by 2 of angle BOC, it will be equal to 1 by 2 of angle COD. What is 1 half of angle BOC? 1 half of BOC will be BAC. 1 half of angle COD, 1 half of angle COD will be equal to CAD. Because the angle subtended at the center is 2 times the angle subtended at the remaining part. So by this you can say that BAC is equal to CAD. And what is BAC? 108 minus X. And what is CAD? CAD is X. So from here you can say that 108 is equal to 2x. That means X will be equal to 108 by 2. That is X will be equal to 54 degree. So this X is 54. So now if this is 54, then 108 minus X will also be 54. So this angle will also be 54. What will be this angle? It will be 2 times. If you look at RCD, then RCD is subtending an angle COD at center, and it is subtending angle of 54 degree at point A. So this angle will be 2 times 54. So this angle will be 108. Okay. Now BC is the chord and CD is the tangent. So this angle will be equal to the angle subtended by CB in the other segment. So CB is subtending an angle of 54 degree here. You can see BAC is 54 degree. If BAC is 54, it means that BCT will also be 54 degree. Okay, so BCT will be 54 degrees, and your COD or DOC will be 108 degree. Like this you can do. So for question number 11, they have not given the figure. You have to draw the figure from your own side. There have been 2 circles which are intersecting each other at points A and B. So PAQ is a straight line. It has been given. Okay. So, and has been given that you are having two tangents for one circle at point P and for the other circle at point Q, and the tangents are meeting at point T, that is intersecting at point T. So what we have to prove that? We have to prove that PBQT, these points are concyclic. So you should know the meaning of concyclic. What is the meaning of concyclic? It means that they lie on the same circle. In other words, that PBQT will be a cyclic quadrilateral. So if you draw a circle like this, if you imagine a circle like this, so on the same circle you will be having this thing P, Q, B and T. So some figure like this you should imagine. That is the meaning of concyclic. In other words, if PBQT is a cyclic quadrilateral, then you can say that sum of the interior angles at vertex B and T should be 180 degree. They are opposite vertex. So concyclic means cyclic quadrilateral. It means that angle B plus angle T should be equal to 180 degree. Opposite angles must be supplementary. That is a cyclic property as we discussed previously. So how you can do it? You can join the points A and B. Why not join the points P and B also? B and Q also. So now if you look here, PT is the tangent and AP is the chord, then this angle, it will be equal to the angle subtended by PA on the remaining part, that is on the alternate part, on the alternate segment. So if you look at this circle, I am saying smaller circle, you will notice that angle TPA will be equal to this angle, isn't it? Let me write here, angle TPA will be equal to angle ABP. Okay. Similarly, if you look here, so this angle TQA, that is angle between the tangent and the chord. For the other circle, it will be equal to this angle, isn't it? What can you say that angle TQA, it will be equal to angle QBA. These two angles will be equal. Angle subtended by AQ in the other segment, that is angle ABQ or QBA. Now you can add these two. You can say that angle TPA plus angle TQA, it will be equal to angle ABP plus angle QBA. Okay. Now what is TPA plus TQA? TPA plus TQA. If you look at this triangle TPQ, you will notice that you can make use of the angle sum property. In triangle TPQ, let me rub this much. Angle PTQ, this angle, plus angle TPQ. TPQ is same as TPA. So I am writing here angle TPA plus angle TQP, or you can say TQA will be equal to 180 degree, isn't it? So instead of TPA plus TQA, what you can say is it will be equal to 180 degree minus angle PTQ. So I am writing here, let us rub this thing. This will be equal to 180 degrees minus angle PTQ. What is ABP? ABP plus QBA. ABP plus QBA, it will be equal to angle PBQ, this whole angle. So instead of this thing, you can write here angle PBQ. If you transfer PTQ from left to right, you will get here angle PBQ plus angle PTQ will be equal to 180 degrees, like this. That is, we want to say that PBQ and PTQ, they are supplementary. If they are supplementary, if the sum is 180 degree, it clearly shows that PBQT must be cyclic quadrilateral, or in other words, you want to say that PBQT points are concyclic. Okay, so like this you can do. So you have to prove that triangle PAD is isosceles. It has been given that AD is the angle bisector of the angle BAC. So that means these two angles will be equal. These two means BAD and DAC. So if this is x, it will also be x. Now P is the tangent. So this angle, AB is the chord. So this angle PAB, this angle, it will be equal to angle in the alternate segment. So AB subtending angle here, ACB. So let us call it y, why not? So this angle will also be y. That means you want to say that if you look at triangle PAD, then angle PAD will be equal to x plus y. Angle PAD will be equal to x plus y. Okay. Now you look here at triangle ADC, then this angle. If you look at triangle ADC, then this is the exterior angle. This angle means angle PDA. So exterior angle will be equal to sum of the opposite interior angles. So angle PDA will be equal to x plus y. That means you want to say that PAD and PDA both are x plus y. It clearly shows that triangle PAD is isosceles. This should be triangle, not angle. Okay. Then next we have to prove that angle CAD. So we have to prove that angle CAD is equal to 1/2 times of angle PBA minus angle PAB. Okay. So what is CAD? Angle CAD is x. So x is equal to 1/2 of. We have to prove that angle PBA. What is PBA? Okay, so we should know this angle. And PAB. So PAB you know. So we should find this angle PBA. So if you look at this triangle ABC, what can you notice? Angle PBA, it will be equal to the sum of opposite interior angles. So one angle is y, and for triangle ABC the other angle will be x plus x, that is 2x. So now instead of PBA you can write y plus 2x. So I want to say that this, let us evaluate 1/2 of angle PBA minus angle PAB. This will be equal to 1/2 of, what is PBA? Y plus 2x minus PAB. What is PAB? PAB is y. So this y will cancel. You will get, will be equal to 1/2 of 2x. So now this 2 will also cancel out. You will get x. So this much is equal to x. And you know that angle CAD is also x. So angle CAD is also x and this much is also x. Hence both of these are equal. So we can say that angle CAD will be equal to 1/2 of angle PBA minus angle PAB. Like this you can prove. Okay. Next question. So you can see that PQ is a common tangent and the two circles are intersecting at points A and B. We have to prove that angle PAQ and PBQ are supplementary. So you can join the points A and B. Let me label it like this. Here I am labeling. This point is A. So I am joining the points A and B. It is not coming exactly. So this we have joined. So now if PQ is the tangent and P is the chord, so you can say that this angle, that is angle QPA, must be equal to the angle in the alternate segment. That is, it will be equal to angle ABP, this angle, isn't it? P is subtending angle ABP at point B. Similarly here you can see you are having this chord AQ and you are having tangent PQ. So here this angle, that is angle PQA, must be equal to the angle in the alternate segment, this angle ABQ. So now let us add these two equations. We can say that angle QPA plus angle PQA will be equal to ABP plus ABQ, that is it will be equal to angle PBQ. Now in the triangle APQ you can make use of the angle sum property. So by angle sum property, sum of the three interior angles will be 180. So you can say that angle PAQ will be equal to 180 degree minus the sum of angle QPA and angle PQA. So this you can write this QPA, here we are having QPA and PQA. So this will be equal to 180 degree minus angle PAQ. So here you can write 180 degree minus angle PAQ. This will be equal to angle PBQ. If you transfer PAQ from left to right, you will get angle PAQ plus angle PBQ will be equal to 180 degree. Okay. In other words, PAQ and PBQ, they are supplementary as required. Okay. So you can see that you are having two chords which are perpendicular to each other. AE is perpendicular to BC because this angle is 90. Then AB is given 5, BD is given 4, CD is given 9. We have to find the length of DE. So you can see that triangle ADB will be a right triangle because ADB will also be 90 degree. So AB will be hypotenuse. So you can say 5 square, it will be equal to 4 square plus AD square. If you do not remember the Pythagorean triplet, in the last video also I was referring to this Pythagorean triplet. If hypotenuse is 5, this side is 4, automatically you should write 3 here. But if you do not know Pythagorean triplet, then you can apply the Pythagoras theorem and work out for yourself. So this will be 25, this will be equal to 16 plus AD square. So AD will be equal to plus minus under root 25 minus 16. 25 minus 16 will be 9. Okay. So you will get here plus minus 3. We cannot take minus, so we will take the plus. So now why we cannot take the minus? Because length cannot be in minus. So I have taken here plus 3. So now you can see that you are having two chords which are intersecting each other internally at the point D. So the theorem that you have studied just now, it will be CD into BD. CD into BD, this will be equal to DE into AD. Okay. D we have to find. So CD value is 9. What is BD? BD is 4. This will be equal to DE. DE we have to find. And AD if you transfer from right to left, it will be, if you divide by AD, AD is 3. So 3 times, this will be equal to 12. So for the first part, answer will be 12 centimeter. Okay. 12 units, 12 centimeter I am writing. So now another part is that if AD is equal to BD, so you can apply the theorem, the two chords intersecting each other at the point D. So you can say that CD into BD, this will be equal to AD into DE. AD into DE. So now it has been given that if AD is equal to BD, if AD is equal to BD, you can cancel it out. So what you will be left? You will be left with CD is equal to DE, isn't it? What did you prove? AE is equal to BC. So let us start with AE. What is AE? AD plus DE. AD plus DE. What is AD? It has been given that AD is equal to BD. So instead of AD you can write BD. And what is DE? Just now we have proved that DE is equal to CD. So we should write CD. And what is BD plus CD? BD plus CD will be BC. Like this you can prove that AE is equal to BC. That only we have to prove. Okay, next question. So question number 15. These two circles are congruent and they are intersecting each other at points A and B. So you are having a line segment CBD and this EBM is a tangent to one of the circles having center Q. Okay. So we have to prove that here CE is equal to BD. So if you have to prove that C is equal to BD, you can consider two triangles in which you are having this CE and BD. So you can join the points E with P. Okay. This point is P, I am labeling it here. And you can also join this P with C. Now here you can join B with Q and Q with D. So you can consider two triangles, triangle CPE, and you can also consider the triangle this BQD. Okay, you should be able to explain that these two triangles are congruent to each other. Then only CE can be equal to BD, and you can straight away say that EP is equal to BQ because two circles are congruent to each other. So you can say that EP, which is equal to CP. EP and CP are the radii of the same circle, and because two circles are congruent to each other, so they will be equal to BQ and QD. So one of the methods, one of the rules to prove the congruency is SAS. So you should be able to guess for yourself that you must prove the two triangles congruent by SAS congruency rule. If you join the points A and B, okay, also join A with Q like this. So now for this circle, EBM is the tangent. This BD is a chord. So this angle, if you consider, that is angle MBD. Angle MBD, this will be equal to angle in the other segment, alternate segment. This BAD, like this, at the point A. This will be equal to angle BAD. Angle MBD will be equal to its vertically opposite angle. So vertically opposite angle, you can understand that CBD is a line segment, EBM is also line because there is a tangent. So these two lines are intersecting at the point B, so its vertically opposite angle will be this angle. Angle EBC, which will be equal to angle EBC. So from these two you can understand that angle BAD will be equal to angle EBC. Okay, you are getting the point. MBD is this angle, its vertically opposite angle will be EBC. So here only you can write angle EBC. EBC. I hope you can understand that vertically opposite angles are always equal. So I have written here EBC. So here I am rubbing it. So if angle EBC is equal to angle BAD, then so if you multiply both sides by 2, then it will not, by constant 2, then it does not make any difference. So 2 times of angle EBC. Now look at the chord CE. It is subtending an angle at the point B, this angle EBC, and is also subtending an angle EPC at the center. Center here is P. So angle subtended at any other point is 1/2 of the angle subtended at the center. So if you multiply this angle by 2, you are actually getting this angle, angle EPC. 2 times of angle EBC, 2 times of angle EBC will be equal to angle EPC because EPC is subtended at the center P. So instead of 2 times angle EBC, you can write here EPC like this. So you can write here angle EPC. Similarly, 2 times of angle BAD. BAD is the angle subtended at the circumference. It will be equal to 2 times of angle BAD will be equal to angle BQD. So here you can write angle BQD like this. So this 2 I am rubbing. Here also this 2 I should rub. So we'll get angle EPC will be equal to angle BQD. Okay. 2 times of angle BAD will be equal to angle BQD. If EPC is equal to angle BQD, you can easily get SAS congruency because the circles are congruent. So these sides of the triangle are equal, and also the included angle will be equal. If the two triangles are congruent, you can say that CE must be equal to BD. Like this you can do. Okay, next problem. Okay, so in this figure we have to find angle BAO. So angle CDB has been given 65 degree. Okay, because AB is the tangent and OB is the radius. Okay, O is the center indicated. So the angle between the tangent and the radius will be 90 degree. So you can say that triangle DBC is a right angle triangle. is right angle, where angle DBC is equal to 90 degree. Okay, and one angle has been given 65 degree. Okay, so you can find the remaining angle. You will be having 155, so this will be 25 degrees. So we have to find this angle BAO. This angle we have to find. So one angle you know 90 degree, this angle we have to find. So you can see that triangle OEC is isosceles, isn't it? Triangle OEC is an isosceles triangle. Okay, because OE and OC are equal, so this angle is 25, this will also be 25. So this angle, that is the exterior angle, will be equal to sum of the opposite interior angle. So this is 25, this is 25, so this angle will be 50 degree. Once you get this angle you know, so the triangle ABO, you can make use of the angle sum property. This angle we have to find, angle BAO we have to find, plus this angle 90 degree plus this angle 50 degree. This will be equal to 180 degree. So this implies that angle BAO will be equal to 180 minus 90 minus 50. 90 minus 50 will be 40 degree. So this angle will be 40 degree. 40 degree. Okay.